Sorry. We're going to talk about the best deck in the format right now. Arkham Dagson. With a 44% conversion rate.
Which is crazy. Is not now. If you were to go to the amount of entries, probably isn't very high compared to the
38 entries.
That is over the past year. Yeah, that's not very many, but that's insane conversion rate. Is it like the same couple people? No, it's all different. Well, the Hunter guy is on there a lot.
Hunter. She horseshoe my crab till I can.
Well, we're not actually. Well, we might mention. We'll probably mention Arkham Dagson. We'll probably talk about. Actually, no, we're definitely going to talk about our decks that we in our first episode that was at the beginning of this year. We each talked about our main lists. Mine being Kinnan, Tivit being Trevor's, and we're going to say, kind of go over how has that changed? Have we changed our lists a ton? Are they still at their place in the meta? Have they gotten better, worse? Things like that. We'll go through some of our other decks that we've reviewed on the channel or talked about, and just general stuff. And yeah, it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
So Kinnan's on the screen. So you want to just talk about Kinnan?
Yeah, why don't you just bring up any edits that you've made throughout the year for Kinnan?
It's been a lot. It's going to be hard to actually... Okay, yeah, this is definitely on the sideboard now. Let's do recent history. It might be all over the place. Like you can see certain things that were putting in. I did have a little stint where I wanted to mess around with Tishana's Tidebender. I thought it was a cool card, like being able to activate it off of Kinnan or flash in a stifle kind of effect, but also being able to hit it off of Kinnan. It just never came up. So I cut it. Wandering Archaic, that's a tough one. Like it's so good, but it never worked for me. And then anytime anyone else gets it though, it was like devastating. So I'm like, maybe I should put this in. And then I never draw it. Or my Kinnan list is a little different. I want my flips to like win me the game. So I have things like Consecrated Sphinx, Hullbreaker Horror, Seedborn. I don't have the Wandering Archaic, Void Winnower, things like that. I really do just want them to win me the game. But yeah, I went for more tutors, a little bit more ramp. I did eventually take Mana Drain out. I never casted it. And it was in my hand at times, and it just never. I usually was already winning, and I'm like, I don't want Mana Drain as a protective spell. I want Pact of Negation or Force of Will that I can just pitch for free and save all my mana for my Kinnan line. Because despite having a shitload of mana in the deck, a lot of times you need to come up with these convoluted lines of like, okay, I'm going to spend, 5 mana to, reshape. And then you sacrifice an artifact, get Basalt right onto the battlefield, but you need enough mana to protect your win. And, potentially search for an outlet or flip Kinnan a bunch of times. So you end up needing a lot more mana than you think. So having all these expensive counterspells, I kind of pretty much cleared out all my 2 mana counterspells at this point. Definitely leaned into the flash route. But you can see all my bigger flips are all things that either draw me a bunch of cards or win me the game, like Tidespout, Hullbreaker. Nyx Bloom, every time I've ever hit it, it's like I basically just win because you have an absurd amount of mana. Honestly, it feels as good as Seedborn Muse because you're like, oh, I've tripled my mana. And then you hit like Phyrexian Metamorph and you're like, oh, now I have 9 times the amount of mana. Hey, do you mind if I activate Kinnan 20 times? People are like, yeah, we scoop.
Yeah. At that point, it's like, because that's what you can look at the top 5 with Kinnan.
Yeah, that's basically your whole deck.
Yeah.
You can keep going through.
Yeah, you can just go through your whole deck
until you get exactly what you want. And then if you get, as soon as you get like Thrasios or whatever, if you don't have unlimited mana at that point, you can just keep activating Thrasios with your, 100 mana or whatever that you have. Yeah, it just kind of gets absurd at a certain point, and people are like, all right, we get it. Yeah, I've definitely gone more to the mid-range route, and people are going faster with Kinnan, which I have always done. I've never gotten rid of my my turbo style of play with Transmute, Artifact, Fabricate. I don't see many people playing Fabricate or Reshape, but I just like those cards because they just get me Basalt. People know what I'm going for. I'm not hiding it, but I don't care. And I like having options to flip into. So I'm basically turbo out Basalt, and if that doesn't work, I'm just flipping Kinnan. So it's like this hybrid. That's why I call it the turbo mid-range hybrid, because people are like, oh, is this a big flips Kinnan? And it's like, no, I don't have Void Winnower or Wandering Archaic or some of the other, the Mammoth that people play or some of the other things. But all my big things, I do have a lot of things to flip into. Like even the smaller things like Glenalendra or Manglehorn, that can change the tide or the turn of a game. Clever Impersonator, I love flipping into clones. I'm not overly clone heavy. I like having cards that I can rely on my effects doing things, but I'm never going to cut Clever Impersonator. I mean, I can copy anything. So Ristics, Mystics. I mean, hell, the other day in a game, I ended up forcing a draw with Mirage Mirror. There was an Atali player, and it was like such a grindy game that Atali was he had actually flipped it and was just hitting us all. And I was at 9 poison counter, so I'm like, if I take another hit, I will die. So I had to tutor or maybe I just already had Mirage Mirror. So I played Mirage Mirror, and I just activated it to turn it into a copy of Atali in response to him attacking. So I was able to keep blocking, and then someone was playing Lotho, and they had the Rest in Peace Helm of Obedience combo, which basically just mills someone and exiles their entire library instantly, but it's only one target player. So as soon as they would have activated it, I could have activated it on top of the stack and turned my Mirage Mirror into the copy of Helm of the Host and exiled their library first. So it was kind of like, well, want to just do a draw? So yeah, but this is actually my list I've been playing in our local league, and I'm in second place. Basically, I'm 1 point behind the first place player. So yeah, it's a small league. There's only about like 15 people playing in it, so I'm not like topping some, giant tournament, but it's doing well. So we have our last week of league next week, so we'll see. Hopefully, maybe all I need is one win, and for the other player to not win, or some combination. I'd probably need a win though.
Let's see. I'm just checking if I see you don't have Starting Town. I was going to ask you what the biggest include of like cards that have come out this year has been for you.
Gotcha. So I have nothing against Starting Town, but I just don't need it. Honestly, I have enough. Since I'm only a 2-color deck, I really just don't need another. Starting Town's great in like Grixis decks because you need to have all your colors and you're going fast. But I've just got so many options that it just doesn't matter. I'm trying to think any other. Mistrice Village, it just doesn't come up that much. But again, there's not much of. I almost always have a forest. I've maybe used it once. And everyone was like, well, we weren't going to counter it anyway, so you just win. Trying to think anything else. I will never get rid of this card. Everyone everyone sees that and they're like, oh, why do you play that? It's colorless mana. I'm like, who gives a shit? It's another 1 mana artifact. You can play on the first turn and then turn 2, tap cannon. Oh, look at that. It's 2 mana. And then here's my arcane signet into talisman. And yeah, it ends up, and then you have yeah, look at that. And then its channel ability is actually pretty useful. And it's overly costed, but can't really be countered without a stifle effect. And in Kinnan, late game, if you draw this and you need to, 5 mana isn't out of the question. And get rid of any non-land permanent. That's basically uncounterable. That's when I say channel and I say uncounterable, but it basically is, because you have to have a stifle in order to get rid of it.
So hold up, you can do that because it's put target non-land permanent on top or bottom of their library, right? So
yeah,
can't you use that to stop the Thoracle win? Because the Thoracle would check that player's devotion to blue. If they don't have anything else but a Thoracle, you could just put the Thoracle on top of their library.
I think you're right. Because ETB on the stack, and then they cast the demonic consultation, and you're like, okay, in response, I'm gonna Moonsnare your Thoracle on top. Yeah, and unless they had like a very large, like other stuff, like devotion to blue, like if they had a Rhystic and a Mystic and a blue creature out or something, I don't know. They could maybe still win, but you're right.
Well, no, I'm thinking more like after the fucking demonic retained pact is resolved, you then put the Thoracle on top of their library, which is now empty, so that they only have 1 card. And now their devotion is 0, but their deck list has 1 card in them. So they technically don't win, but then the next turn they can just draw the Thoracle and play it.
Yeah. That's true. But that's a whole other turn for everyone to stop them. And no, I think you're right. Yeah, I didn't mean in response to you have to wait till the demonic consultation resolves. Although, it wouldn't work. Because I was going to say it would be funny because a lot of people name Thoracle. But what if you put the Thoracle on top? It would just be exiled. So the ETB would still be on the stack. Unless they didn't have any devotion to blue.
Yeah.
But no, that still doesn't work because even 0 and then it's equal to 0. So yeah, okay. No, it kind of works in some specific circumstances. Sink into Stupor, fantastic. It's always going to be good. For the longest time, I don't know why I wasn't playing Court of Calling, which is stupid.
Why?
Just very, very
it's
dumb.
Such a good card.
I know. It was one of those ones where I just didn't realize it wasn't in there. Yeah, no, I know. What's funny is I play mine and more of a turbo deck, but I have more creatures than most other lists online. Even the ones that were really creature heavy and big flips. I've always thought that was weird. I'm like, why aren't people playing more creatures? Muddle and Mixture will always stay, or at least for a long time. It's probably I think it's my only 2 mana counterspell, but the transmute ability does come up. If we look at my beautiful curve, there are almost 20 cards that I can get with it. I've used it to Gilded Drake and steal someone's, Kefka or an opposition agent I stole the other day, which was fantastic. You can search for your Basalt outlets, something to protect you, your Thrasios, your Prismite. I can use it to tutor for Transmute, to tutor for Basalt, which I know you hate to chain tutors, but it doesn't feel bad when you're like, well, I've got 8 mana. I can either flip Kinnan or I can, transmute Muddle for transmute artifact, and then cast transmute artifact and get Basalt right to the field. Half the time it just kind of works. You can get Cyclonic Rift in a pinch. I kind of like it, and because I can justify having the extra mana, it doesn't feel that bad. Into the Flood Maw, of course, is a huge one from this year.
That's from last
year. I already
year.
said Stinking to Stupor.
That's also from last year.
Stinking to Stupor. But let's see. All of the other, like the Stinking to Stupor Bridgeworks battle. Again, this rarely comes up, but I've used it where I'm like, oh, I'll target Kinnan, give him +2/+2, and kill the fucking Orcish Bowmasters. That's going to fuck my day up. So, suck it. It works. Nature's Rhythm, huge. Being able to cast it from the graveyard. I've double tutored with this to win the game. You just have, especially if you just have a shitload of mana out. You're like, all right, well, I'm going to use it to tutor the first time for Nyxbloom Ancient, and now that I have a fuckload of mana, let's go. Let's tutor again. High-Fae Trickster is definitely become a big part of my game plan, especially like after I'm all like in that point where I'm pushing for the win. It's really useful. You're basically unstoppable.
Yeah.
Once you get this and like Hullbreaker out, it's like, all right, try and stop anything I do. The other flip cards from MH3, of course. Endurance, I don't see many people play this, but it's saved me a million times from Gifts Ungiven lines, breach lines. I mean, it has just saved my ass, and it's part of my win con. To this day, I still, my primary win con is I get all my flash enablers out, like High-Fae Trickster and Hullbreaker and Tidespout. This is after I've drawn my whole deck and shit. And then like Glen Elendra. So that way I'm just totally protected. Anything that I do, cast Drown and Dreams, target a player for X equals 1,000,000. They instantly draw themselves and die. Endurance, loop it back into my deck, redraw it, and then Chain of Vapor the Endurance back to my hand, cast the Drown and Dreams on another player, Endurance, draw it back into my hand, and then Drown and Dreams on the last player. And I can do it all at instant speed before anyone can do anything. I can do everything on top of things. I mean, I could even... Yeah, that's my go-to. And then, of course, the finale, or you can do Fairy Mastermind, or just good old bounce every single permanent they have and pass the turn.
Yeah.
You can always do that with 1,000,000 cards in hand, or, whatever you want. But, yeah, that's pretty much... I've been messing around with the Lighted Halfling. I'm on the fence. I don't have it for... Good. Kinnan not getting counter. It's just kind of nice that it has 2 toughness. It's another thing that can cast Kinnan uncounterable early, but I rarely use it for that. I just use it for more mana. But it's probably going to be my next cut if I had to pick something. Maybe add in a clone or something like that, like Flesh Duplicate. But yeah, no, Kinnan, and just in general, Kinnan's been doing good. The only thing against it, you could say that its conversion rate, like, again, we made the joke, Arkham Daxon, the best deck in the format, right? Well, it's only played a couple times, and the people are probably really good with it. And again, not saying that it's not a great deck, but when a small share of people are really good at it, they are going to have a better rate than... If you look, Kinnan's not even in the top 20, I don't think, in terms of conversion rate. But I think way too many people play the deck that think it's going to be super easy to play, which a beginner can pick it up and do okay with it because it's like, oh, I just get Basalt and I go infinite, right? Well, it's there's a little more nuance to it. 923 entries. So
with a conversion rate of 18%. And 6% of the mana, which is interesting. But yeah.
But then scroll down and look how many tournaments it's won, though. You'll just see like, oh, first. It's winning tournaments all over the fucking place. It is one of the. It's in the top 3 decks in the format. And even if you're a psycho, I think even people that are for some reason don't think it's good would say top 5 for sure.
Yeah. No, it was funny.
But
I was at a tournament last month, and I wasn't playing against a Tin deck, but the pod next to me was playing against Kinnan, and the Kinnan won. And then they were like, well, they won like turn 2 or turn 3 or something, like ridiculously fast. And then they were like, you guys want to go again? I gotta go to the bathroom though. And he left. And then they instantly started talking shit about Kinnan. And we're like, I fucking hate Kinnan.
That is awesome. Oh my God. People, what's crazy though is like everyone shits on it so much. And it's like, well, what do you think is the best deck in the format? Play that. If you want to win, if you're going to, if like bring your goofy deck and try and make it work. Like I'm going to, for the next season of League, I'm going to try Celeste. Am I going to take down the whole league? Probably not. But I'm going to try and make it work, and it's fun. But then I can't get mad when, like, Kinnan or Blue Farm wins. Fucking Blue Farm, God damn it. It's like, yeah, well, you're playing a fucking fringe deck against one of the top 5 decks in the fucking format. Yeah, you're not going to win that many games. Sorry.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it is funny. Yeah, I get a lot of shit for it. Not at, like, tournaments like that, but usually just, like, local people in the league. It just all ball busting, you know. One of them's a Kefka player. Like, yeah, like, maybe the best Grixis deck right now. Okay, yeah, go fuck yourself. So,
I mean,
yeah, if it's like, if I don't win, they win.
It might be one of the best Grixis decks thus far, depending on how you're playing it. If you're trying to do turbo, I think you're much better doing Rogsai. But
absolutely.
I still think Kefka.
But I think you can still go really fast. You can still play Necropotence and Adnaz, and you'll have a lot of mana because you're trying to cast a 5 CMC commander. So I think you can still go. It's the best of both worlds. It's definitely my favorite play style, which is the turbo mid-range hybrid. We will get to Kefka. I think we've spent enough time on Kinnan. Let's go over to Tivit. How's Tivit doing?
Dude,
That's been your main deck for a long time.
Yeah. Tivit's not doing so hot in this format. Like, and I've kind of... So I played earlier this year, I played one tournament with Tivit, and I ended up getting second. And then I brought it to another tournament, and I got, like, 40th or something. But the problem I see with Tivit, and I'm trying to think if there's anything big that I've included. I think the biggest thing was that I'm still playing Spicer Kitten. Oh, this is a different list, though. This is my Tivit's Nuts list, where I try to keep the same idea of Tivit. And then I try to do what I called, which was called Turbo Tivit time. And
which is just trying to turbo out Tivit, right? Not like a turbo list in general, but like trying to get Tivit out as fast as possible.
I was trying to do it because, like, my issue was that everything in the format was much faster than Tivit. Like, I think Tivit's biggest issue, and I think this is a big issue for most Esper decks, is that when you're playing in a pod, everyone just assumes you're going to be the cop at the table. That you're going to stop everyone
I hate that.
Fun. And it's just like, I don't want to be the fucking cop. I want to fucking try and win. So the fact that you're forcing me to use my interaction to stop everybody's... Or you're not keeping interaction in your hand because you just assume I have interaction is kind of a double-edged sword. It's kind of like, I don't... Like, yeah, I can stop them because I have frickin' 3 counterspells in hand, but I was saving that for my own win.
Yeah, and it's at least nice that Esper has a little bit more card advantage, but I've ran into that problem with even Kinnan, where people, like, the fucking Blue Farm player will be like, hey, Kinnan, do you have any counterspells? I don't have any right now that could deal with this. And then it's like, oh, god damn it, really? And they like force you to do it. And then Kinnan, that is a thing that is a downside with that deck, is it doesn't have as good of card advantage as other things like Blue Farm or Esper decks or Thrasios decks. Yeah, you can get your Rhystic or Mystic out, and your advantage comes from your, flipping Kinnan and having all this extra mana. But if you're wasting all your counter spells, it's a good way to trick Kinnan into eventually not being able to win the game, is get them to use all their interaction. So I've fallen out of that trap after it happened a few times, and I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
Sorry. Blue Farm, you're going to have to counter this. Sorry.
Now, if you're watching this, you'll notice the card on the screen is Necropotence, because I was trying out Necropotence in this deck. I think I played like 10 games with Necropotence in the deck, and it never came up, as well as Unwinding Clock. So I put in Necropotence, Unwinding Clock, Fabricate, and then I was putting in things like Born Upon the Wind and Valley Flood Color. And I took out cards like Displacer Kitten, because I was like, Displacer Kitten's not doing a whole bunch for me. So I know it sounds weird, because Displacer Kitten's really good. But I kind of pushed away from Displacer Kitten recently, especially in my Kefka list. I know it's like fantastic in that list, but like the issue was always I would play Displacer Kitten, and then I would pretty much tap myself out to play the Displacer Kitten, pass, and then one of the players after me would be like, okay, I'm just gonna try and win, and I'm like, cool, can't really do anything because all I have is this Displacer Kitten.
Yeah, I still think it's one of the best cards in Kefka, but if you're trying to go super fast with Tivit, I understand taking it out. In a general Tivit list, I would say absolutely keep it, because the amount of pure value that you get. All you have to have is one extra mana and cast, a Soul Ring or anything, and flicker Tivit, and it's amazing. But yeah, I could see wanting to take it out. I think it belongs in Kefka, I guess, unless you're going pure ad nauseam. But like even then, it's still like I still think it's worth it. It's just that good. I do love that Tivit can run Cursed Totem and Grafdigger's Cage. That is just two artifacts and an artifact, heavy deck that you can just silver bullet a lot of the problem cards in the format. I love it.
There's a lot of things to love about Tivit. The issue is the reason I wanted to go faster, and the reason I took out things like I took out Smothering Tithe for the Turbo list, and I took out Displacer Kitten. I took something else out. But I was taking these things out because it just started to drag on the game, and it wasn't progressing a win. It was just literally slowing down the game. And I was like, I don't particularly want to be doing that and like not being able to push a win. So I opted for things that could allow me to try and win on the top. Like the reason I put in Valley Flood Color and Born Upon the Wind wasn't because I was trying to win at instant speed. It was because I was trying to get my time save out on someone's end step so I could just skip everybody else's turn and just take an extra turn after that.
That's awesome.
Which is an interesting idea. Yeah. Did it ever come up? No.
Sometimes that happens. You got to play like the variance in Commander in general with being a singleton format with 99 cards or 98 and your partners. You just end up having sometimes you just never draw certain cards. It's funny. And then like the one time you draw it gets countered. So like, fuck this card. This sucks. I'm taking it out. And I feel like that's what happened with Wandering Archaic. I might actually swap it back in and see, but I don't know. I don't know.
I'm going to go to Tivit's conversion rate right now.
Yeah, let's see how it's doing in general.
It's got a conversion rate of 16%. It's got a lower entry rate than Kinnan, so it's got 250 entries. It's about 1.5% of the meta, and it is 16% conversion rate. I don't think it's doing that well.
Now scroll down. Let's just see some of the top performing in general. So it hasn't had a first place in a long time. I know July is only, 4 months away, but from what it was doing, like you see,
That was before Final Fantasy, wasn't
I think so. Yeah, maybe right around
it? Yeah.
there.
Because I feel like Final Fantasy was one of the best sets for Commander this year. And it provided
And
it provided
Bloomborough.
5-color
Bloomborough is
yeah.
another one.
Bloomborough was last year, Ian.
Fuck, really?
Yeah.
Oops.
That was last year.
Oops. That's why we didn't review it on our channel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it was one of the last sets of last year. But it was good.
Yeah, Tibet, if you look at its other stuff, it was doing a lot better earlier this year and late last year. And
yeah. So,
but yeah,
I think people are falling off of Tibet.
Because Tibet was... it's such a good deck, though. I still believe in it. It's just... It's easier to... It's kind of... It's the same... It's fallen into the same route as Kinnan, but Kinnan, even though where everyone knows what it's going to do, but at the same time, though, it's easier to stop something that's has a 6-mana commander, an 8-mana combo. You can still do your Thoracle and stuff like that, but it's easier to shut that down than a Kinnan that's going to come out for 2 and can just blazingly fast win the game, or just repeatedly cast Kinnan. Well, I'll cast him again. Eventually, you're going to run out of counter spells. So, yeah.
So, I know it's a bit sad, but I've kind of retired my Tibet list, and I've gone fully into Kefka. So that's where I'm at with Tibet.
I think it's a good meta move, though. In general, I think it's a good idea. I also wanted to. Go to our page and we don't have to talk about literally every deck, but in our next episode, we did a little bit of TNT stuff. How are we feeling about TNT?
How are we feeling about TNT? Well, let's find TNT on this list.
Sorry, did you have anything else to bring up other than the sad fact that you're moving away?
The sad fact that Tibet... I mean, this happens with meta shifts and whatever. I started playing cEDH and I was playing Kess.
Look at that!
I love playing Kess. Do you see Kess anywhere? No. You know why? Because Kess is terrible now. I'm not saying Tibet's terrible. I'm just saying that I pushed away from Tibet because it wasn't winning.
And even Kess isn't terrible. It's more so that there's better options. There's Anala's better.
Yeah. Anala's
Kefka's better. Rogsai's better. Yeah. But the thing that I said, oh my God, look at that, is TNT is literally right next to Tibet.
Is it?
Which I think is, yeah.
Oh, look at that. It's got a worse conversion rate.
I think it is in such a weird position. After the bans, everyone was like, oh my God, this is going to be the deck. And everyone played it, and it did do really well. And then its conversion rate started diving. Again, 18% isn't that bad. It's just that when the meta share is so high and then you see the conversion rate, it's like, oh, okay. But unlike Tibet, unfortunately, there are a lot of first places. I mean, now
Chad bod.
The most recent was in September. But yeah, that's a lot of... Oh, here's another September of this year. See, there's a lot of first places, though. A lot of seconds. Despite being played a lot, I almost think that even though the conversion rate's lower than Kinnan, I almost feel like people that do decide to play this in general are I don't know. Not saying it's a better deck than Kinnan, but I think when you play this deck right, it is really, and you have to build it right too. There's only so many ways you can build Kinnan, but a deck like this it's just so all over the place. I mean, I've noticed people are kind of going into this Gaia's Cradle kind of route with it. I wonder if this person. Oh no, that's Dog Thrass, which we will actually get to.
I mean, do we want to talk about Dog Thrass? We talked about it last time.
Well, just a brief like, hey, I'm wondering if they're doing like any Gaia's Cradle stuff in this deck. Sanctum Weaver is interesting.
They have fucking Cloud of Fairies and whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah, Shurikija.
I wonder if they're doing any Gaia's Cradle shit.
You don't know. Oh, well,
and they've got Derevi and Emil the Best. And, Sowing Microspawn. Yeah. I would, in a Wargate, I'm going to bet my money, all the money I have, that they have a fucking Gaia's Cradle in this deck.
Well, there's no way you wouldn't run the... God. But how much are they leaning into it? They're not doing a Boro Breeze Collar lines, but do they have Snap in the deck? I wonder if they're doing the...
No, they're not doing Snap.
Witness Snap. Although, I know people don't seem to win with that line as much, but I really do like it. If you already have Eternal Witness and Gaia's Cradle in the deck, it's like, might as well throw in Snap. It is actually pretty easy to pull off.
Yeah,
now, this isn't like all in on Gaia's Cradle, but they have all the best Gaia's Cradle stuff. Like they have Derevi and Emil and Sowing Mycospawn. Very low artifact count, which is interesting. There's a very low artifact count, but they just don't really need much. What? They probably know better. They won the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, they're the winner, so.
Also interesting, no Diabolic Intent. Very low sorcery count, too. But saves more rooms, for instance. They had a lot of enchantments, though. That is a shitload.
Oh, yeah, they got Survival of Fittest.
They're doing the Freed and Heaven's Aura combos, which... with their Bloom Tender and or Sanctum Weaver both go infinite. So this is an interesting list. It makes sense why they won. It's got all of the best things. It's like, well, we're going to play Gaia's Cradle loops, but it's only going to be the best ones. We're going to play Kinnan Basalt. Yeah. I'm guessing they had... Or no, did they not have Basalt? I don't think they did.
They didn't have Basalt. They were just playing Kinnan.
You don't need it. Of course, you have Thoracle. I mean, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that if you build it right and you really just have the best of the best, of course, they're going to have Devoted Druid line. I mean, they just have so many ways of going infinite, and you're playing 4 really good colors. So you have the silence effects. You've got all the best tutors with black. You've got all the good creature tutors and resilience of green. And then you've got the protection of blue and the draw. Yeah, it's just... This is a fantastic list. In my opinion,
this is a fantastic list. This is actually interesting to look at. I'm surprised they're on Abrupt Decay, but not on Assassin's Trophy.
I know. I've actually switched to Assassins. Yeah. Yep. That's the exact reason for me too. The uncounterability is great, but like, I don't know, with the amount of counterspells kind of getting cut a little bit. I've noticed people playing them not as often. Or not as often, but like just less counterspell. People were running like at one point like 15, 14 counterspells, and now we're kind of at the 12 and even like under 10. Even decks are like that are typically running more, are like, I run 9 counterspells. Because people are trying to go fast. People are trying to undercut this Ristic Mystic bullshit and win faster. But yeah, I really like this list. I'm going to shit on the Carpet of Flowers just because I've always hated that card, but they probably make it work, and I really can't complain about this list at all. It's very focused. It's got a game plan, but it's got so many options.
Yeah. But where TNT sits in the meta, I feel like you're focusing too much on 2 different things. Like, I feel like Dog Thrass and Rog Thrass have a very simple game plan, which is just shoot out a lot of fucking creatures. You don't have to do anything with those creatures. They just help you with Gaia's Cradle, and then you activate Thrasios a shit ton. But, like, when you have Thrasios and Tymna, like, I get it. You have a shit ton of creatures. You can attack with them. But the fact that you need to attack with them to get benefit off of Tymna, I don't think is really beneficial. Especially, I don't know. That's my 2 cents. But what the fuck do I don't play TNT.
I've noticed that it ends up being like things that you're already going to do anyways. So think of it. Let's go back to this one really quick. So you're already going to play all the, Espers, but if someone all of a sudden is open, like that Grixis player, they're not going to block Esper with their Rogue Rack. Yeah, well, you swing that in, you draw another card from Tymna, and then you get some bigger stuff, like, oh, I'll swing with my, opposition agent. Like you just kind of end up naturally having creatures out, and if it draws you a couple extra cards a turn, or even just one, gains you a little life, keeps you in the game a little longer. The issue is, I think it struggles the most with really fast turbo decks, because once TNT gets set up, it is really annoying to deal with, and kind of ends up just having a stranglehold on the game. Not like a Stacks deck would, but it's just very good at controlling the game and generating value and stopping other players from doing things. And there's a very good player in our local meta that is hard to play. Like if the longer the game goes, his win percentage just goes way up because it's just hard to deal with. But yeah, I agree with like what you were saying too, that there is. And if you're not focused, you have too many things going on, because it's not all in on Gaia's Cradle. It's not all in on some of the other infinite mana. It's definitely all in on going infinite, but there's so many different ways to do it, which is good. Yeah. But yeah, there can be times where you end up just drawing, like I drew or like your open 7 is Kutzel, Kinnan, Eternal Witness, 3 lands, and a counter spell, and you're like, and you can, because there's such a amount of I got my Hazel's Brewmaster and my Emil. Well, those are 2 really good combo pieces, but they don't work together. So there's a little less synergy in general, but there's so much value in the deck. It overcomes it. I'd say it's in the top 10 decks in the format right now. I'd have to come back to whether it's top 5 maybe, but...
You've heard it from Ian. This is one of the top 10 decks in the format. I'm honestly not impressed with DMT's performance. I think when it comes to...
I'm not impressed with your performance.
I'm not impressed with it. I feel like if you're going to do a Thrasios list, there's better Thrasios lists to do, like Dog Thras or Rock Thras. And if you're going to do Tymna list, there's better fucking things like Blue Farm. Or even fucking Karark's
Dog Thras or
Rog Tymna. Like, you could play Mardu, and I feel like Mardu does a better job at doing the Tymna thing than a fucking TNT list does. But what the fuck do I know?
I know what you mean. It's less focused on doing one thing or 2 things really well, and it's like it can do a lot of things pretty well. So I'm cool with moving on.
All right, this is a perfect time to tell the audience, why don't you leave a comment in the fucking video and tell us what you think about TNT in the meta right now.
Tell us how little we know.
Yeah, tell me that I'm fucking wrong.
Tell me that I'm fucking wrong. Speaking of things that a lot of people were wrong on, let's do a quick Ketramos and Hashaton. We went over those decks early on. How are those doing?
Let's search Hashaton. Not good, Ian.
It's not played that often, and it has a horrific conversion rate. Oh my god.
Get out of here. this was
Everyone
something
jizzed their fucking pants over this when this came out, and then they were like, "Wait, it's not incredible," and it's like,
It's not.
I would almost rather someone just make it a turbo, because people lean too much into like I'm gonna like be discarding like a hull breaker horror and into Hashaton's ability, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to be discarding a Hullbreaker horror in order to get a token copy of it. I'd rather just be casting it or like doing other things. Like it could have been a really good like turbo list maybe that doesn't actually really. It's just more of a good Esper shell. But if you're gonna do turbo Esper, you're better off doing what, Malcolm Timna or something. Is just better. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then, Ketramos. I did get my ass kicked by Brad from, what is it? Higher Ground Gaming. Sorry, Brad, for some reason, if you see this, and I'm fucking up your channel's name. I only played like a couple games with him, but he absolutely destroyed us with Ketramos. Had an insane turn one. I think it was literally turn one Ketramos. It was like, land, Chromox, Lotus Petal, Soul Ring. Like, okay. And then like got Ketramos out and was able to keep playing shit. I still think it's a fun deck, but yeah, even less people. Only 8 entries. The conversion rate is better than Hashaton, but again, it's the same thing where so few people are actually playing it.
We got ninth
only
place,
2 decks.
We got 15th place, we got 20th place, we got 30th, 86th.
All by the same guy.
101st. Oh, it is the same
Nathan
guy.
Neves. This guy has just been ride or die on Ketramos.
And then Bradley, who got 159th out of 269. All right, Nathan. Good luck. I hope you win a tournament with your Ketramos.
I believe in you. Yeah, that's awesome. I do love to see that, where someone's like, hey, fuck it. I'm just going to ride or die this list. But yeah, worth mentioning. All right, what else? What other decks did we talk about?
After that was Aether Drift set review. And was there anything in the Aether Drift set that was actually worth anybody's time? I feel like there was one card. There is one card.
One card? Oh, yeah, maybe. There's at least one card from the entire set, but Aether Drift had a decent amount of Magda stuff.
Yeah, Aether Drift had a lot of Magda stuff. Bright Glass Gearhulk is what I'm thinking of. That card actually is included in a lot of lists nowadays.
I see a couple. It's still not like...
It's not crazy, but like it's still good. It does what you want it to do. It's essentially, think of it as like a slightly better Ranger Captain, but without the silence ability. So a slightly worse Ranger Captain.
I was going to say, yeah, so you mean a worse Ranger Captain? But yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like it is a good card in the decks that can make use of it. I guess the next one we really talked about was Jetmir, which let's look up what it's doing in the the meta, which is probably jack shit.
It's got 21
entries, 9% conversion. It's better than I thought it would be, but
let's see if it's the same thing as Ketramos, or it's just the same guy. I think Zachary Brown.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, he has all the good results from
Zachary
it.
Brown again. Nicholas Tatum. I believe I saw your name up here. Yeah.
But
so there's a few people that play it.
I'm all over the place. Jetmir. So I ended up playing the list that we made for a couple games, and you'd think that like having 40 or more creatures and like this like pseudo crater hoof kind of thing in the command zone, and it like, okay, this is gonna be awesome, and it's like, dude, this just doesn't do shit. It was like, even when I did win, it was so boring, and the game ended up being, wasn't that the one where it was like over 3 hours? It was like a 3.5 hour game.
Oh yeah,
because it was so stacked out, and you tried to win with Thoracle, and someone stopped you, and then they tried to win with Thoracle, and you stopped them. And then it was like, wow, the amount of fast wins that are left in this game are gone. And it's just going to be a grindy game, which, hey, Jetmir can win in a super grind fest. But then the games I lost, it was like, well, I have no interaction because I'm like all creatures and oops.
That was a 3-hour game that we did record. And then we were like...
And I was like, I'm going to tell you right now, I am not editing this.
That's fine.
This will never see the light of day.
How about this? You don't have to edit it. Just add in the audio, and then we could throw it on the Patreon if anyone actually wants to watch a 3-hour fucking unedited game.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I think I might even deleted it to save space on my... I'm like, dude, there's a 3.5 hour video file that's taking up, like, multiple gigs of space, and I'm like, oh, God. That's about all that Jetmir's worth. I thought it would even just be fun. I'm like, this won't be that good, but it'll be fun. And it's like, it just wasn't. I don't even think I casted Jetmir. Maybe once, but I didn't even get to do the big Jetmir swing or anything. I was like, yeah. Jetmir kept getting killed for some fucking reason, I'm pretty sure. And it's like, okay, well, I'll just keep hitting you with my mana dorks and all the other shitty little creatures in this deck. It just did nothing.
Just did nothing.
But yeah. All right, let's keep going up. We talked about stacks. We talked about... I do like the situational card comparison. We should do that again. Like, yeah, that was fun.
Tatiova? So somebody commented on our Tatiova list or video and told us we did it completely wrong. So...
Which we did.
Sorry.
It was...
we did.
we were trying to do too much. We did like what the problem that TNT has where you can build it in so many ways, but we did that in a deck that is very streamlined. Why would we add fucking Hermit Druid? Why? That was so dumb. I mean, to be fair, Andrew actually won with that, which is hilarious. But that is not the way to play that deck. You should be all in on the lands. And yeah, let's see. How is Tatiova doing?
Tatiova, Benthic Druid. 20% conversion rate.
Wow.
5 entries.
That's entries.
So low, but like, damn, they're Lucas Pryor and
different people.
Not even going to attempt to. Ignacy?
That is a cool name, Ignacy.
Ibanez,
like
Marti.
That is awesome. That is an awesome name to have.
Pretty
Who
tough.
are you, Ignacy? Ignacy, Ibanez, and Marty. Wow, an actual good deck.
They're running loot. Nice.
So this is what a good
Tatiova this is what it should have looked like.
Oh yeah, and all in on the, I guess maybe not all in, but a lot of the extra turns. That's the other thing that makes this deck really good is you can just keep hitting extra turns because you're drawing and playing so many lands.
Not
very many artifacts. Were they playing Collector Oof? That's actually... That's smart. That's maybe what we should have done. Although then it takes a long time to get out.
There's no Collector Oof but... No, there is. I'm also surprised I'm not running Null Rod. I feel like people should just run Null Rod.
Yeah. What's hilarious is the turn 1 Null Rod that people get off of playing Sol Ring. Land, Sol Ring, Null Rod. Get fucked.
Yep. Get fucked. Alright.
Well,
that's Tatiova for you.
But nice list, Ignacy. Ignacy.
What was the next?
I did actually. So, when I was with my wife, where I had her on as the guest when you were busy that week, we talked about a bunch of different decks, but really she ended up settling on Selvala. Might as well. Let's see what Selvala's doing. I did lose in the big tournament in Decatur. I lost to Selvala on turn 3. It was actually a mirror. There was another Kinnan player. Yeah. So, oh no, not that one.
No,
that's the shitty one. It's Heart of the Wilds.
Heart of the Wild. 5% conversion rate with 19 entries.
Yikes. Well, that's not good.
Nope.
Yeah, so even though we lost on turn 3 to it, and there was 3 decks with blue, which was like, how can we not stop this? There were so many. It was mostly creatures, and like, you only really have Force of Will, Mana Drain, and Pact of Negation that really just counter anything. There's not really many things that counter specific. And I guess Strix, Serenade, but yeah, unfortunately, the issue I noticed when playing Selvala is because even though the commander Selvala has draw a card on it, you're not drawing as much as you'd like, and it's really mulligan dependent. You really have to mulligan and have a strong hand, otherwise you can have too many disjointed cards, and you're like, well, I can get Selvala out, but then I don't have any big power things, so it doesn't really tap for that much. And I also noticed that people were surprisingly scared of Selvala. Like, I would break it out as like, oh, I've just been messing around with this list, and there'd be like a Rogsai and a Blue Farm and a TNT, and everyone's like, ooh, Selvala, right? Fuck, man. You're like, really? Really? I'm getting the fucking... But we haven't even played the game yet, and already people are looking at me like salivating over fucking ripping Selvala to shreds. It's like, come on. I think I won like 1 game ever because everyone targeted it so hard, but it was really easy for someone to go, yeah, on the other person's end step, I'll Swords to Plowshares, Selvala. Okay, and I'll continue with my turn. And it's like, I just felt kind of irrelevant in a lot of games. And then some games, it would do well, and then it would get shut down. Sometimes I get to a point where I'm like, technically I have an infinite mana or a shitload of mana, but I don't have any way to cast any more creatures or anything. Like, I don't have any in my hand right now or draw spells, and it would just kind of fizzle. So yeah, that's about all I have to say about Selvala. Fun deck, but oh yeah, our buddy from oh my god, Go to Combat MTG, Jesse, plays Selvala, and he plays it very well. So Jesse, if you're there, let us know. You're probably making Selvala work. However, I could not. But all right, what else did we go over? Tarkir. Oh yeah, Magda and Tyam. Let's see where Magda's probably. I feel like Magda's fallen off a little bit.
Not too bad.
God, I don't like that. Okay, yeah, so you just have to delete it. Okay, yeah, not too bad. The conversion rate isn't great, but I feel like because a lot more people play it, but you will see a lot more, well, you see, like top 4s. There's a decent amount of top 4s, which is nice to see. And just top 16s in general. So overall, Magda, I think it's just always going to be... I don't think it'll ever fully fall off because it's always going to be strong no matter what kind of meta you're in. You can build Magda as a stacks deck. You can build it as a mid-range deck. You can build it as a turbo deck. And it's always going to have the instant speed, winning on top of people, and like tutor out silver bullets. You can, it's like, oh, this is Vexing Bauble is really good in this meta. Grafdigger's Cage is really good in this meta. You know, like you can just tutor out those types of things, you know, for the situation, for the meta. It can be built so many ways. I think the big thing holding it back is you might as well just have a target right on you. I feel like it gets over targeted but then at the same time,
Yeah.
you don't target, and then you let it do its thing, and it just wins. So, yeah, I ran into this similar issues as Selvala with Magda, only instead of feeling like I was kind of irrelevant that game, it's like, oh no, I was very relevant. People went out of their way to make sure I couldn't win. But then it just opens it. It almost felt like not purposeful king making, but it just felt like, well, because everyone focuses on it so much that it's just allowing someone else to win. But I'll still break out my list once in a while, and it's fun. It's always a threat. Frankie's actually a good Magda player. Whenever we've played with him, he's gone over to playing VV a lot, which is he's also annoyingly good at. So Frankie, fuck you for being good at all these goddamn decks. I feel like we make the mistake with that. I'm telling people like, hey, you don't need to target Magda that much. But then when we don't target Magda, Frankie just wins. So yeah, I think it's always going to just be
target Magda.
Yeah, you probably should. I feel like Magda's always going to be like the 11th best deck in the format forever. At its worst, I'll put that caveat on it.
Forever an honorable mention.
Yes, exactly. It will forever be an honorable mention in the format because it's never going to be bad. Yeah. Ever. I don't see a world where, I mean, even if we go into like a turbo meta where everyone's like, fuck interaction, I'm just going to go as fast as possible. Magda can go really fast too. If they just go an all in on a turbo list, and I don't know, it might perform slightly worse in those kind of situations, but I don't know. But yeah, that's about all we need to say about Magda.
There it is.
Time.
13% conversion rate with 140 entries. Not too bad. I've seen
could be worse.
Shift, I've seen this deck change a lot recently. I haven't updated my list at all, but let's look at this one's pretty recent. So let's take a look at this list. They're still doing the same crazy shit. No, this is
fifth. That's good. Still good.
So
that Clockwork Beetle, I've never seen that one before. That's interesting.
Clockwork Beetle?
It was a little bit up. It was one mana.
There it is. Comes into play with 2+1/+1 counters on it. Whenever Clockwork Beetle attacks or blocks, remove +1/+1 counter from it. At the end
it's just a quick way of getting more counters, I guess.
I mean, you just play Clockwork Beetle, and then you have 3 counters with the Vigilance counter on it, so bam. Let's see. They've got... this one's more traditional. I've seen this list, their card, which I think is really fucking good. Metastatic
Human Cleric.
Evangel. Whenever another non-token creature you control enters, proliferate, choose any... Yeah, and you know what proliferate means.
Yeah,
so
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that's a way of just pumping up a crazy amount of tokens on your creatures. So that's a really cool include that I've seen. This year we
Aven Interrupter will always be a dope card. I love Aven Interrupter as a card.
Aven Interrupter? Oh, yeah. Where is that? There it is. Aven Interrupter is pretty sick in this deck because, you could just start looping that.
It's like a counterspell and a stacks piece, and it's a flyer, and it has flash. I love cards that have a ton of text on it like that.
This one's more traditional. I've seen lists, also Nature's Rhythm, another great card that came out this year. I've seen lists that go more into a combat focus, where they're generating tokens on their creatures by attacking. And that's pretty interesting.
Interesting.
Also, Promise of Burn Rary. When a creature you control dies, sacrifices enchantment. If you do, create 4/1/1 colorless spirit creature tokens. This essentially just goes infinite, because each of those tokens enters with a copy or with a vigilance counter.
Oh, and then that is awesome.
If you, I forget what it goes infinite with, but you essentially just need a way of producing 3 mana, and then you can
mana with them.
Yeah, and then you can just say fuck it and just pump up time.
You're bringing it back.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's a cool
this
card.
This is more traditionalist. Yeah, it is. But that's
so. How do you? I noticed you haven't played Time too much recently. Have you played any games and noticed anything?
It's just slow. The issue with Time that I've always had is that if I can manage to get to turn 5, then I'm winning. But the ability to try and stop people before then is really hard, and it's also really hard to like keep your time on the field, because once you time out, people are just like, oh well, just try and remove it. And
yeah, I've noticed that a lot of people just target time. It's kind of like the same thing with Magda, where they're like, well, I don't want to deal with like focusing on you and keeping you in check, so I'm just gonna kill your commander over and over again.
Yeah. But you know, for the most part, I don't really play Time. I still love it. I still think it's a great deck because it's interesting. But it's just you know, I don't feel comfortable enough with it where I'd bring it to a tournament.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right.
It still has enough 141 entries though, so enough people believe in it, which I like. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. What else did we talk about?
We talked about Celeste.
Ooh, Celeste. So, how do you feel about Celeste?
We talked about
in general
2 more decks after Celeste. So, Celeste, I haven't really. So after we published our video, we were invited to the Discord, and I helped build the community list for Celeste. But the real issue with Celeste is like, it's mainly its colors and its Mardu, and I feel like Mardu just struggles a little bit in the meta.
It does, unless you're doing like Rog Timna or Dargo Timna. Like you're almost better, and a lot of people said, I think it's just a worse Dihada. I don't fully agree with that. I'm not saying it's better than Dihada. I think they're different decks, and if you go, I had more success with Celeste. And you're absolutely right about Mardu. Like the colors struggle unless it's like turbo, and even then they still kind of struggle. But I noticed when I tried to go full turbo with Adnaz and things like that, I had to change the curve in my deck in order to fit that. And a lot of times my Adnaz would just get countered, and or even if in the games where I didn't get Adnaz, I'd dump out my hand because I have so much ramp and ways to go fast, and I'd cast Celeste, but I'd only have like 1 or 2 cards in hand. So it's like, well, I don't want to discard. I have a silence or something in my hand too, and I want to keep that in case someone's trying to win. So I'll discard 1 card and draw 2, and I got a talisman, so I'll cast that next turn to ramp, I guess. And then you're kind of just sitting there with not that much in your hand. Celeste is better when you have a full hand that you can then discard and draw a shitload and really load up your graveyard. So doing like the turbo Adnaz strategy didn't really work. And I think this is where the whole thing with Dihada and like, oh, it's just a worse Dihada. I don't necessarily think you should turbo breach in this list either. I think having a slightly more mid-range game plan ends up working out really well, and your breach comes down, and you can have it protected. You have enough mana to be like, I will play a Voice of Victory. Okay, I will play a Breach, and I have like 20 cards in my graveyard, sometimes more. I've had games where I'm like, I have more of my graveyard or more of my deck in my graveyard that's in my deck. I had like 60 cards in my graveyard one time. It was absolutely insane. And it's like, even the game, and I will say it doesn't win that much. I haven't given it enough of a full try. I'm still tweaking my list. Actually, we can look at that too. I'll go to what my current list is. Turbo mid-range hybrid, yeah. But I've noticed that I've never been irrelevant in any game. I am threatening, even the games where I didn't win. I'm like, man, I'm like threatening wins constantly. And I even had one of my favorite games of all time, which I wish we would have taken it more seriously, because it made like an actual deal. So it was a Kefka, TNT, Mion Celeste, and Atali. And I actually won the first game. And then in the second game, I went for like a turn 2 Breach, which was stupid. And everyone's like, do you have enough to like actually win? And I'm like, I have no idea, to be honest. I have no clue. And they're like, well, why are you going for this? Because I'm like, fuck it. I'm going for this. And it like fizzled. It was going to fizzle, but all I had enough for was to cast Wheel of Fortune one more time, but I wouldn't have had enough cards in my hand to discard and refuel my graveyard to recast LED and Wheel of Fortune. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to cast it anyways, because fuck it, I got to try. And I get like Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, Saw in half. And Atali is on board. So I'm like, in order to keep this going, I made a deal with Atali. I'm like, I will Saw in half your Atali right now. So you get 2 sets of Atali triggers. If you cast all of the cards off of my, that you get from me and give it your all to actually get them in my graveyard. And you can't kill me first. Like if you just end up winning, whatever, but you can't kill me first. And they're like, okay. And of course, like Kefka and TNT, and this was just like a casual cEDH game, but they were like, do not do that. Absolutely not. And I'm like, I have to. It's my only out. And they're like, you fucking asshole. You're going to give Atali, you're going to copy Atali for them twice. I'm like, absolutely. So I do it. And honestly, they ended up getting a billion more Atali triggers because they kept hitting like really good things like Twin Flame and all this shit. They ended up getting Ether Flux Reservoir off of, I forgot who was playing it. Maybe they were just playing it in their own deck and ended up killing everyone. But it was like, it was off the last Atali trigger. If they didn't actually hit that, they would not have been able to keep going, and I would have had enough in my graveyard to keep going, because this was all that on my turn that this happened. So yeah, it ended up being a hilarious game. It was like, we probably should have just offered a draw, but yeah, it was one of my favorite games of all time just because of how batshit it was to actually copy an Atali, and it almost worked. But yeah, tangent over. Celeste, I noticed that. Oh yeah, do the yeah.
Don't wait. Sure, there's a way of just making this my fucking.
No,
whatever. It doesn't matter.
So okay. Yeah, I put in a lot more cards like Archivist of Ogma, even Ragavan, getting your advantage off of other players' decks early game, and not using as few of the cards in your hand as possible until you get Celeste resolved, so you can discard as many as possible and draw as many as possible. And honestly, I end up just winning by like half the time by like, I'll discard the Murderous Redcap and okay, I'm gonna unearth this for 1 mana and reanimate Murderous Redcap, and then Murderous Redcap can keep killing itself with its own ability. dealing 2 damage to itself, repeatedly coming back with Celeste, and then the Molten Gatekeeper deals a damage to each opponent when it enters. So you don't even have to worry about an actual sack outlet. It is its own sack outlet. Or just having that and Altar of Dementia and milling everyone out and doing the damage. I mean, there's just so many. I noticed that just actually winning with the Persist combo is the best way of winning in the deck. I know Breach is super powerful, but having that as like a secondary win con, actually, it sounds counterproductive. It's like, why wouldn't you be using one of the best win cons in the format to win? Because people are used to it and they're expecting it. And when you win with your Persist combo and they're like, oh shit. And it's easier to keep going. Like, oh, they countered my Murderous Redcap. Okay, well, I'll animate Dead It and keep going with that. Oh, I'll Abdel Adrian. And there's so many other combos in the deck. The Twin Flame, Dual Caster, or Saw in Half Dual Caster. There's just so many ways to win that it's kind of like, yeah, I think it ends up playing better than you think it will. I think people will figure it out eventually. Do I think it's going to be, the new best deck in the format? No, not at all. It's very fringe, but I think it is a solid fringe deck. It is a good fringe deck.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But yeah,
it was early for me.
Pretty standard.
I
did go more all in on the... I did do the Smothering Tithe, Trouble in Pairs, Dance of the Dead. Those were recent includes because I'm like, I'm not doing ad nauseam anymore, and I really just want to have as many reanimation outlets as well as mana and card advantage that doesn't require me to cast too many cards out of my hand. So yeah, I think it's better than it lets on. I won a game the other night against you guys.
Yeah, you did win another game against me and Frankie with Celeste. So it does win games sometimes.
It does indeed win games.
And then Final Fantasy came out, and then the meta changed a lot because Final Fantasy gave us not only Celeste, probably the best commander in the format now. It gave us Kefka, which I think is really good and is now my current list that I play more than often. And it also gave us 5-color Terra, which I don't know if we'll talk about. We should talk about 5-color good stuff piles at some point.
Yeah, we can mention where they're at, and then we should. Well, I'll just do it while you're pulling up Kefka. Of course, Blue Farm is still, because we did technically talk about Blue Farm a little bit, but Blue Farm is still has the throne, in my opinion. It's better than Kinnan. It's better than TNT. It's better than Kefka. It's just the best deck, and one of the main reasons is it's so unassuming. Someone pointed it out really well. I forgot if, but we've always said this too. Like when even though Kefka's really good, the way to stop it is kill Kefka or counter Kefka. Kinnan's really good. Counter Kinnan. Counter their Basalt. It's easier to target, but it's like, how
Kefka
do you
is what you
stop
want to be
Blue
doing.
I'd say.
Think about it this way. They kind of want their Kefka to die because then they can cast Kefka again.
Yes, but like if you kill Kefka twice, they're going to have to recast it for 9 mana. That sucks.
I want to look at their
it slows
Kefka
it down.
Staples. Let's see what the staples here are.
Actually, you want to steal Kefka is what you want to do.
Yeah.
We were playing a game the other night where there were 4 Gilded Drakes. Because someone played a Gilded Drake to steal a Kefka. There's a massive counter war over it. They still ended up getting the Kefka. Someone else played a Gilded Drake. Then I played a clone to copy one of the Gilded Drakes to actually take an opposition agent at that point because I wanted to be able to tutor. And then someone else stole the Kefka again. It was like, Jesus. There are so many fucking Gilded... I hope that I didn't lose my Gilded Drake. Make sure it's still in my deck.
I was I was in a tournament last month, and I was playing Kefka. I ended up I can actually find my own placing here somewhere.
Oh, cheater! Go back up.
What?
Who's that?
Cheater.
Fucking cheater.
Cheater?
Oh, there's another cheater. Yeah, they've kind of been cracking down. I don't know. I didn't mean to bring that much attention to it. I just saw that red stamp, and I thought it was kind of funny.
Oh, we'll be here somewhere. Cheater! It's the same cheater.
No, don't fucking cheat, I guess.
Don't fucking cheat. Oh, I'll be here soon. Soon enough. Oh no, where am I? I'm right here. Here we go. Did 19th. Which wasn't too bad.
Middle of the pack. Not bad.
Yeah. But anyways, I won a game, and I was up against Inala, and I had it's either Heuristic or Mystic. I think it was a Heuristic study. I think it was turn 1 or turn 2 Heuristic, and I had a Force of Will in hand, and the Nala player was like, well, I have a Spellseeker, and if anyone wants to show me something to stop that, I'm going to go fetch, or they were going to go fetch for a Spellseeker, and they were like, if anyone wants to show me a counterspell to stop that, I'm going to fetch for something else. And I was like, what if I just tell you I have a Force of Will in hand? And they're like, okay. So they got their own Kefka. And I'm like, that's cool. And they started doing Kefka shit with Inala, which I thought was pretty interesting. And then everybody else at the table ran out of cards in hand. I was like kind of netting even. Every time I discarded a card, I would end up drawing a card because they had to cast something else. So like I wasn't really losing anything at that point. And then they were forced to pass. And when it got back to me, I was just like, okay, here's a Thoracle, here's a Demonic Consultation, and then they were like, here's a counterspell, and I'm like, well, here's the Force of Will I told you I had in my hand, so I kept that this whole time. And I ended up winning that.
Fucked.
Game. So get fucked.
Yeah, that's awesome. And see what I mean? Like, I remember, like, it came up at one point where we were discussing, well, is it bad if all the opponents don't have anything in hand? And it's like, not really, because they can't do anything then. And there's been a lot of games where that's happened. And even though I'm like, oh, okay, I did draw something. Well, Kefka has, perpetually 7 or more cards in hand at all time. So they're probably going to be able to keep countering whatever I do. If Kefka also didn't have cards in hand, then that would be a problem because you're just waiting for the next player to draw a win con and go for a win. But Kefka can... If no one has anything and Kefka has all the cards, it is basically inevitable. I mean, there might be a once in a blue moon where someone is able to, sneak a Ristic through, draw a couple extra cards, and get back in the game. But it's just, it's not as often as you'd think. Like usually once Kefka is at that point, it is really hard to climb out from underneath that. You have to have a lot of onboard advantage, which Kinnan fares up decently against Kefka, because even if my hand is getting attacked, I can, as long as it's not too early in the game and I have Kinnan and enough mana on board, I'm able to just keep flipping Kinnan and maybe get into a Seedborn Muse or just some bigger, like a Consecrated Sphinx, and then I'm kind of back in the game. So but Kefka is scary. It's good. I'm actually
Kefka
curious where Rogsai is. So if this has a 21% conversion rate, is that better than Rogsai right now?
No, Rogsai has.
Hi, Diego. He's meowing 18? In the doorway. Come here, buddy.
Wait. No, I guess it does have a better conversion rate. This Rogsai is
now again. That conversion rate isn't everything. Oh no, I was saying Rogsai, not Rogthras.
Oh, that's Rogthras.
But
here's Rogsai. 22%.
Ooh, actually, it's better.
Yeah, it is better.
But still, honestly, I say that they're about even right now. I think Rogsai player. I think Kefka's slightly easier to pilot. Rogsai is a actually difficult deck. Everyone just thinks like, oh, this is going to be turbo, just win as fast as I can. And it's like, yeah, but you don't have any advantage in your command zone other than a free commander that you can use to sack to things. So it's not as easy to pilot. You really have to mulligan aggressively. And even then you have to know these razor thin margins of lines where like I'm ad nausing and you have to be able to really like, okay, I'm going to an offer. You can't refuse my own Mox Amber in order to cast this. And I can get Breach. And then and you do these weird lines that, you know, aren't as straightforward. So a newer player may struggle with them. But I think either way, Rogue Rack, if you want to go fast, Kefka, if you want to be a little bit more mid-range, but you can still go fast in Kefka. I think Kefka is more versatile. And it does for the first time in a long time, it targets other players' hands in a hand destruction with the hand destruction theme, which hasn't been really effective until recently, or at least not for a long, long time. God, Diego, come on. He's like chewing on my cords. Come on. Come on, you little dick.
Your cat's just chewing on your cords, and my cat's freaking out because she wants to leave Stella's room.
Yeah, I used to make the mistake of closing my office door when we would record, but then Diego just meows outside of it. Okay, come on. You're going to choke. All right, that's enough. He's such a little rascal.
Such a little baby.
All right. Such a little baby. All right. So where else are we?
I mean, we can look at Dog Thrash. How Dog Thrash is doing.
Let's look at Dog Thrash.
I mean,
I know you've only played a couple of games with it since we built it. Oh my God, he's like aggressively.
Whoosh.
Stop it, Diego! God damn it! Stop, please.
But this deck has a 26% conversion rate with 138 entries, which is pretty good.
Oh, that's actually really good. That's fantastic. Comedian won. Scroll down a little bit.
Comedian. Oh, look at that.
Comedian. Oh,
you were running yesterday.
Like yesterday.
Oh, shit.
Oh, good for him. Oh shit.
Nice. Let's look at his list.
Ooh, Charismatic Conqueror. I've always been curious about that card.
Spellskite, Voice Victory, Turn.
Oh, he does play Springheart and Nantuko. I like that in Rogthras.
Nice.
It's just a solid. And yeah, I've noticed that they're specifically in Dogthras and not Rogthras is a lot of people are playing Peregrine Drake and anything else that untaps lands. Just because there's another thing that you can clone and repeatedly untap all of your stuff.
Resculpt, exile target artifact creature. Its controller creates a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature. Okay, cool. He's playing far less artifacts than we put on the deck. And Growing Rights. Okay. He's still playing Invasion of Ikoria, which I think is funny because I feel like everybody removed Invasion for Nature's Rhythm, but he's still playing it, so good for you. And surprise, surprise, he's playing Gaia's Cradle. So, anyways, good job on your win, Ian.
Surprise, surprise. Yeah.
Wait,
fantastic. A lot of first places.
3 and 2. Nice. But yeah, I think Dogthrash is in a good position. I think Thrasio lists are, in particular, like, pretty well suited in the meta right now. Like, I would put Dogthrash and Rogthrash up there in, like, the top, probably top 10. Like, maybe Rockthrass is a little bit better just because it has faster, or it's a little bit faster
But
than
I don't know.
Yoshimaru.
Based on this, though, pull up a Rockthrass. What's its conversion rate? I actually, I like it better, but that is just because it fits my playstyle a little more. But I did play a little bit of Dogthrass. I actually tried that first.
Rockthrass looks like
significantly
a lower
less,
higher entries.
But I think it's gotten more attention, so a lot of people are playing it and not doing as well. But yeah, a decent amount of
Stop it!
Decent amount of wins here.
Oh, cheater!
Sam Black. I'm pretty sure he's the cheater. Sam Black is the one who kind of actually started this whole. I think he's like one of the first people to build Rog Thrass with which that turbo cradle, and ended up just going kind of nuts with it, which is awesome. And then everyone kind of followed suit. Max Sternberg, I think is known as Wounded Satellite, is big Kinnan player, recently switched over in the past several months to Rog Thrass. Yeah, not going to go into the whole cheating thing. It wasn't like a blatant, they straight up cheated, but it was more of a, hey, you accidentally tapped and like performed an action that you didn't have enough mana for, but they're kind of notorious for doing that, and it kind of always winds up in their favor. Like they got extra mana that they shouldn't have, and there's been too many times maybe that happened, and it was like, hey, it was a 12-hour tournament. I'm exhausted. I made some mistakes. Is it blatant cheating? No, but they've also been in trouble for unsportsmanlike conduct a couple times, so probably need to take a little break from the format and come back. But yeah, we don't have to get into that. But even though I'm like, yeah, we don't have to get into that, but let me give a little spiel on this. But yeah, no, a lot of people, Max is on here quite a bit. So you almost can't not mention them since they have a lot of the second and third and first place wins with this deck.
Yep.
They're all over this. But I mean, I think they're on top deck. They might be the highest ranked player, or at least in the top 5 highest ranked players. I mean, they are a very good player. So
yeah,
if they're not cheating, right. Which again, who knows? But
that was a quick update of all of our decks that we've built this year.
Yeah, no, I like doing that. And what if you had to do a quick top 5 just off the top of your head? What do you think is? It doesn't even have to be exactly in order, but
okay. Top 5.
I think we can agree on Blue Farm being number 1.
Oh, hold up. I'm going to do it from 5 to 1. So 5, I would say, is like Kefka, I think. Then I believe number 4, probably Sisay. I know we didn't talk about Sisay, but I think Sisay is well suited in the format right now. It's just really hard to interact with. Then probably Rogsai, then Kinnan, then Blue Farm. Not Rogsai, sorry, Rockthrass. Then Kinnan, then Blue Farm.
Gotcha. So Kefka being above Rogsai?
Kefka, I would say, is like number 5.
Gotcha. Yeah, let's see. 20% conversion. That's pretty in the. That's nice for a deck that's pretty popular. So for a deck that has, close to 500 entries, the fact that it's still maintaining a 20% conversion rate, or actually slightly above, that's pretty good.
I think Sisay
I don't know.
had
I've
a
played
weird year because they were trying to come back from the bans and try to figure out where they sat, and I believe they figured that out, and now they're really well suited in the meta. And it's a really hard deck to interact with in general.
Gotcha.
So.
And yeah, they do have a lot. They have a decent amount of first places in recent months too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not, and a lot of top 4 cuts, top table. Yeah, if I had to pick, I might. It's easier for me to go from the best. I'd say it's got to be Blue Farm is the best. Um, I think Kinnan. I hate playing it being like I'm playing the second best or even like the best deck in the format, but I'm not going to stop playing it just because it's one of the best. So it's like, yeah, I think Kinnan is number 2 if it's built right and piloted right. I think it's not super difficult to interact with, but it is hard to. It just feels inevitable. You can't really fully take Kinnan out of the game, even if you're like, I have a Collector Oof out. Well, they're going to play their Mana Dorks. Okay, well, I have a Cursed Totem. They're just going to bounce that eventually. They're going to play it. They're going to hard cast a Consecrated Sphinx and draw a shitload of cards and bounce it and counter and stay in the game. And it just is a very inevitable deck. Like if you're not keeping it in check for most of the game, it will eventually win. I'd say third probably is maybe a tie between Rog and Dog Thras. Hard to argue with those conversion rates of Dog Thras being significantly higher than Rog Thras, but I think it's just because more people have done Rog Thras and maybe not performed as well. So I'd put it a tie for third between Dog and Rog. Fourth, let me see. We're going to come back to this in a sec, but I do just kind of want to see off the top of my head. I think this is going to sound weird, but I think that Kefka might be fourth. And then Thrasios Timna. And then sixth would probably be Rogsai. I know the data does maybe disagree with that, but I'm kind of with you that Kefka's at right now slightly better than Rogsai. It's more consistent, I feel like.
It's more resilient.
Whereas Rogsai is and resilient. Yes, I agree with that too. Atali's also up there.
I forgot Atali.
Atali's kind of
when I was thinking about the
I
top
feel like
five.
Atali is got a good enough or a big enough I don't know. There's an element of randomness to it. It still is pretty guaranteed that if you get enough Atali triggered, you're going to win. But I've noticed that some months it seems like, it won a couple tournaments and then it didn't do anything that month and then it came back. So I think it's just is always going to be in around the top 10 at the very least. I don't think it's not like Magda where it's forever an honorable mention, but it's kind of around there. I think sometimes it's going to be in the top 10 and then sometimes it's going to be slightly out. Whereas Magda will always be 11th, I feel like, in a good way, though. Yeah. I mean that in the best way possible. But I actually, despite the data not supporting this as strongly, I do think Timna Thrasios is in the top 5. I think it's actually better than people are giving it credit for. I think it's the 5th. So it'd be Blue Farm, Kinnan, Rog Thras / Dog Thras, Kefka, and then Thrasios Timna. And I think that once people hone in, like we talked about that list of Thrasios Timna earlier, that was really solid. I feel like once people hone in and really build it right and, understand their list, I feel like it's always going to be a powerhouse. It's never not relevant. It's always going to be extremely powerful. And then, Sisei and Rogsai are going to be right out of that top 5. But again, I know if someone actually bothered to listen this long and hears that, and they're like, fuck you, Rogsai should be, it's like, okay, we're talking about such a subjective format, and when you're in the top 10, it's kind of, everything's so close at that point that I wouldn't disagree if someone said, no, I think Rogsai is better than Kefka, or this is better, or, they're all up there.
Yeah. Also, Blue Farm has got a 1,351 entries. This is in the past year, and a 26.6% conversion rate. So
so annoying that it's even with the fact. That's why it's so good, because Kinnan has not quite as many entries, but a shitload, but the conversion rate makes it look like it's significantly worse. Because I think that Timna Crown, even if you're not that good of a player, you're a little bit newer, you can still it's such a good deck. It's also very resilient. You can just keep going. You can go really fast. Even the mid-range lists still play ad nauseum most of the time, and it has a super low curve just naturally. They don't even try and lower the curve, and it just has a super low curve. It's so annoying. It's so good. I mean, who cares if you kill their Crown and Timna? Why would you kill that when there's a Kinnan and a Tivit or a Najila or whatever? There's way more threatening things on the board. A Kefka, and it's like, I'm going to waste Swords to Plowshares on a Timna. But then if you don't, they just draw 3 cards a turn. So it's like, fuck. God damn it. It's annoyingly good.
So you've heard it from us, folks. Just play Blue Farm. Every other deck is useless.
If you want to win, every other deck is useless.
Welcome to cEDH. The C stands for Blue Farm.
All right. I think that about does it.
Yeah. I'm sick of your voice anyway, so...
Same. Likewise.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we're best friends.
Hey, I like that. Hey, we're about to do our 30th episode. Hey, if we end up doing, which we for sure will. I know this will probably, it's November 9th right now. I know it'll probably come out in a week or two because I'm just so fucking busy. And then we'll get at least a couple more. So we'll probably end up having more than 30. But if we get 30 or more episodes out in our first year of doing that, I mean, that was pretty good. I'm gonna say it's a first. We literally started with 1 subscriber, a couple subscribers, and in a year we're getting close to 300. I know it feels like we're doing this like end of year recap thing, and it's only November, but I do kind of like it's a good time for it. It's a good time before we get into the holidays and all that. It's been a fantastic run, and let's see what we can do next year. Let's try and get above the 500 mark. We'll shoot for 1,000. We can start monetizing, and maybe get some merch at some point. Who knows? We got to get the Discord up. What are we doing?
Yeah,
we get that fucking Discord up.
We need to work on the Discord. Once that's up, we'll make a huge announcement about it, and we'll invite everybody.
It's going to blow everyone's tits off. It's going to be nuts.
We also have a Patreon that you can join and support us by giving us $1. And if we get 20 of you to give us $1, we could do this for free, which is all we really want. I mean, for now. But if you don't want to do that, you can also like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Tell us what your favorite deck in the format is right now, or what do you think the best deck is. Also tell us where we were wrong and how much of a fucking idiot we are. Collectively.
I'd love to hear that.
Anything else? I mean, we're also on the internet. You can see me not post anything. I'll get better at that. It's hard.
You better. You better. Or you're going to be fired from your position as social media manager or whatever.
Whatever that's.
You don't want to be fired, do you?
No, not from this.
No. I'll fire myself before I fire you. But next week we'll do I'll try and get the other Patreon video up there, like the Patreon specific, the one where we talk about the One Piece stuff, and then I'll work on that, and then we'll record. Next will be the reserve list part. Is it gonna be part 5? Yeah,
part 5.
It's our
hell yeah
lowest performing videos on the channel, but I don't care. We're doing it. We're finishing the reserve list. It's gonna be like 50 parts worth, I think.
Well, as slow as we fucking do them, yeah.
Well, even if we speed it up, there's like 500 cards on the reserve list or something. So it's It's gonna be a while.
Yeah.
We'll be like fucking old men by the time we're done with that.
We'll be retiring by the time we're done with this.
We might. Then we can focus full time on this.
Yeah. That would be swell.
That would be. I feel like I'd still be busy. I'd still just be. It's not even work. It's all the stuff outside of work that I'm doing. But yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do we'll do another outro thing where I record separately, but for our lovely patron at the moment, Champ Ferros, we appreciate you as always. There's still going to be some stuff on the Patreon coming soon, and
so you look out for that.
And all the rest of you
in particular,
you don't get to see it.
The rest of you,
you don't get to see it.
What is this outro? It's turned into something fucking crazy.
All right. We're done.
We'll see you in hell.
See you in hell, nerds.